of the spirit of its message. Because for a Muslim, for a person to have weight in Islam, to be one respected, is the one who looks after his body. Because the body is like a vehicle. It's a vehicle that Allah has entrusted to each one of us to get us from this life to the next life. So it is important that the Muslim looks after this vehicle in that which concerns feeding and drinking, in that which concerns the appearance, in that which concerns the cleanliness, and keeping pure from the many difficult impurities and dirt that a person attracts through his daily life. And that's why the Islam linked, and a very important linkage between cleansing one's body materially and between the important effect that it has on purifying the soul internally. And that's why when a person looks after his body and takes care of his body, he will be closer to managing the difficulties that this life comes. And this is why when one of the things that Salman radiallahu anh mentioned to his brother Abu Darda, he said to him, Inna li rabbika alayka haqq, wa inna li jasadika alayka haqqa, wa inna li zawjika alayka haqqa, wa inna li zawrika alayka haqqa, fa'ati kulla di haqqin haqqa. That when he visited Abu Darda in his house and he saw that Abu Darda was engaged in a lot of ibadah, fasting during the day and praying during the night, he gave him the advice. He said to him that your Lord has a right over you, and yourself, your body has a right over you, and your wife has a right over you, and your guest has a right over you, so you should give each of those their right. When you look after each of these, you will get the bigger picture, because your body is that vehicle. When you look after it and cleanse it and purify it and take care of it, it will take you that step further with the will of Allah. And this is why one of the most important links that we have with our daily purification is the purification of wudu, of washing our limbs, those limbs of wudu, the face, the arms, up to and including the elbows, wiping some of the head, and cleaning the feet up to the ankles. These are the daily ones that we clean, just because these are the effects, these are the limbs which are daily engaged, or we use daily with our activities. And not only this, but Islam has concentrated that this act of wudu is an important act spiritually, because when you cleanse your body doing these acts of wudu, you are in fact removing the sins, and you're removing the impurities that have been engaged and attracted by living in this life, whether it has been caught by the eye, or by the ear, or by the hand, or by the foot. So when you are doing the wudu, not only are you cleaning your body materially, but you're also cleansing the spirit internally as well. وَلَنْ يَتَّخِذَ الْإِلْزَامِ بِتَطَهُّرْ طَرِيقَةً ألصق وأقوى من هذه التي شرع الإسلام، لأنها تجعل المرء يعاود الغسل والوضوء ولو كان نظيفا، وهي من قبل تنفي عن الأمة الإسلامية أي أثر من آثار القذارة والاتساخ. وعلى ذلك أن الإسلام لم يدع أمر الغسل الكامل للظروف التي تفرضه فرضا، فقد يتكاسل بعض الناس عن الاغتسال ما دام الدواعي فرضه لم تقم، لذلك وقت للغسل يوما في كل أسبوع كما قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم: غسل يوم الجمعة واجب على كل محتلم وسواك ويمس من الطيب، رواه مسلم. وكذلك في الحديث: إن هذا يوم عيد جعله الله للمسلمين فمن جاء الجمعة فليغتسل. Also, not just the wudu, because the wudu can happen now and again, and we said it's linked to certain limbs, but also Islam encouraged that the person should engage in a daily in a weekly activity of attempting to wash his body in whole. And so the Prophet ﷺ made it as a communal obligation, i.e. a person guarding his community rights to wash every Friday, because when he comes to the Jumu'ah, he is coming and he is engaging with people, and so it is part of his obligation to the community that he washes on this day. But it is not an obligation in terms of the Sharia, because there are other evidences that the ulama have picked up along the way which give the effect that washing on the day of Jumu'ah is a highly recommended act in the virtue of Allah. So if someone doesn't wash on the day of Jumu'ah, his Jumu'ah is still sound, but it is an obligation that he should try and regard towards his brothers and sisters, because when he comes and he meets with them, he is there to present himself, and so that nobody is harmed by the effects of his impurity or the effect of the uncleanliness that he may display as a result of this.
وكذلك قد أوجب الإسلام النظافة من الطعام، فبعد أن ندب إلى الوضوء له أمر بأن يتخلص الإنسان من فضلاته وروائحه وآثاره، وهذا أنقى للمرء وأطيب. روي عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في حديث يرويه أبو داود أن بركة الطعام الوضوء قبله والوضوء بعده، وهذه النظافة المطلوبة يتفاوت الحث عليها باختلاف بقايا الطعام المتخلفة على البدن، فإذا تسربت هذه البقايا في الأماكن المتوارية كان حقا على المسلم أن يتطهر منها. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: تخللوا فإنه نظافة، والنظافة تدعو إلى الإيمان، والإيمان مع صاحبه في الجنة. رواه الطبراني. وقد اقترنت نظافة الوضوء ونظافة الطعام في هدي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. فعن أبي أيوب قال: خرج علينا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال: حبذا المتخللون من أمتي. قالوا: وما المتخللون يا رسول الله؟ قال: المتخللون في الوضوء والمتخللون من الطعام. أما تخليل الوضوء فالمضمضة والاستنشاق وبين الأصابع، وأما تخليل الأسنان فمن الطعام، وإنه ليس شيء أشد على الملكين من أن يريا بين أسنان صاحبهما طعاما وهو قائم يصلي. رواه الإمام أحمد.
Also, brothers and sisters, Islam has made the cleanliness from mealtime, or the effect of meal, as something which is a necessity for a person. Because not only does wudu cleanse a person's limbs, but also there are things which are attracted to a person's mouth as a result of eating, but also the effect of the food, which also has an effect on the body, and the odor that comes from the body. And that's why there is a narration narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said that the blessing in the food comes by making wudu before it and wudu after. And this hadith is narrated by Abu Dawood. And also not only this, but more so to look after the areas which need special attention, and especially the mouth, because the Prophet ﷺ is narrated to have said that there is nothing more hurting for the two angels. The two angels that write the actions of the people. There is nothing more hurting for them that they find between the teeth of the person that they are writing the actions for, food while he is standing in prayer. And this hadith narrated by Imam Ahmed. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.